in which something even bigger than the human had to be looked to in this process. We went beyond the human to the supernatural. So somebody could argue, and remember, I'm just pointing this out. I'm not declaring any take on it. One just has to observe this. And it's quite provable because of all the things we've just spoken about. There is a move up in terms of, who you admire. Well, this process didn't end, say the psychologists. So their answer to theology is psychology. And they say that you had to get bigger. And the Bible tells you all about it because, as I said, you get one more inflated character, bigger, better, and holier than the previous guy. If he fed the 5,000, the other guy, Muhammad, had to feed 50,000. Right? They're all outdoing each other. So all the religious characters have this central figure who's got incredible, miraculous power. Of course he does. Carries a big stick. Of course he does. Lives forever. Sure. Has to go to heaven after the humans have killed him. Yeah. And then he has a frightful ritual death. Yeah, because he's freaking heroic, isn't he? He can have nails drive through his skull. He's the martyr. He'll be boiled in oil. Yeah, because he's a martyr. He's better and bigger than all of us. We should be like him. We should want to die for the cause. Right? He's the sultan. He's the imam. He's the head boy. He's the mullah. So religion got created this way. But it doesn't end there, does it? Because the crafty, foxy priests who really set themselves up as the religion, they're always between you and what you want to worship, have realized this level of human psychology. That's why the psychology is very important, because somebody knows it and is using it against you. So anyone who's into theology and who tries to escape psychology, well, I don't really want to have any conversation with you, because theology is psychology. Because the priests have made sure, and they're up on things that you're not, which is that knowing that you have an image ideal, an ego ideal, knowing that you have a super ego, knowing that you need a father figure and an authority, and need it really badly, because it's not just you, I need it as a stabilizer for this complex thing called reality, which you do. No, I need it to have any kind of personality myself. The interjection of the imago is so important, it becomes a part of my own self, my own being. It's not something I'm doing frivolously when I make these interjections and identifications. It's crucial to me being able to walk, talk, and operate in the world, and even have a sense of self. The self is a pastiche. The ego is a pastiche of many egos, of many, many, many things. Nothing wrong with that. That's the way we're organically made to reach out and have these identifications. When the process goes wrong, then you get transgressive figures, delinquency, and crime, and wrong identifications, which is happening more and more in our society. But let's get back to the point. Those who have called themselves priests for thousands of years have, on some level, an awareness of this need. That's where idol worship comes from. Why do you need even a stone idol of Shiva, whoever? It's always big and phallic, isn't it? What do you think these big phallic statues come from? The Colossus of Rhodes and the statue of Zeus, Nelson's column, and all of this. It's born out of exactly what we're talking about, except there it's cultural. We all look up to the great, phallic figure in the sky, the phallic figure. What do you think the buildings are made so majestically and large and all of this? And the booming voices, that hypnotize people. So it doesn't end at the human. So the human, though, is projected upwards into the supernatural. So all theology and all supernaturalism come from this dynamic that Alfred Adler, Sigmund Freud, were all onto. And Sigmund Freud's father, who was Jewish, literally begged his son on umpteen occasions to come back to Judaism. On his deathbed, was trying to hand him a Bible, saying, "Please, son, come back to your roots." And Freud just went, "No, it's all mass hysteria and collective neurosis. Sorry, mate. National fantasies aren't for me. I see through it." And it's not that I'm then advocating atheism, because atheists also have their heroic figures, don't they? Isn't Karl Marx bigger than God even? And John Lennon saying, "Oh, our band, the Beatles, is bigger than Jesus," and the whole world came down on him for that. The whole, what are you coming down on him for? Behind what he's saying, even though he's a plonker, that psychology is true. You're Jesus and John Lennon. They're both imagos. So one imago is going to fight the other imago, and the followers of, and that's all we've had down through time. Muhammad's not as good as our Jesus. And on it goes. So the atheistic man is worshiping, Nancy Pelosi.